Hi, I'm Keith Smith.
I'm Chris, also known as CNG25 right here on YouTube.
And this is Friday Night Movie Review. Tonight we went and saw the movie The Flash. I'm sure all of you are wondering out there, should I go and see it? We all know the questions as to the reason why, because we all know DC is at one point going to be rebooting their whole entire universe. So what's the point of this movie? Well, we're going to give you our impressions of it and let you decide for yourself as to whether or not you want to go and see it. Chris, what do you think about the movie?
Generally, it was okay, average. I wouldn't say it was a terrible movie considering DC's track record. It definitely had some flaws in the film. Rewatchability, it definitely has that. Like, I could see myself rewatching it. A lot of the jokes landed in the film. Overall, the action was great in it. There's definitely some surprises that they did not reveal in the trailer, so I can say without a certainty you will be surprised at them. I know our audience did. I would also go on to say that stick around for at the end of the credits. There is a scene. We have people get up during our showings, and people haven't learned their lessons to stay and watch to the end of the credits.
Right. Stay after the credits, because there is an after scene. My general impressions of the movie. It had some comedic moments, sprinkled all throughout the movie, and at times it was a little bit much. I think they could have cut back on some of the comedy, and it could have been a little bit better. But overall, it wasn't too bad. The beginning did have me kind of scratching my head. There were some scenes there that were just, in my mind, just a little bit too cheesy, but it kind of came across. They dealt with that very quickly and got rid of it, which was a good thing, because I was hoping it wasn't going to be that way the whole way through. Had some, it's violent. So if you don't want your kids watching violence, don't take them to see this movie, because it does have some violent parts in it. But overall, it was pretty good. Now, the question looms. So let's address the elephant in the room. Chris, what do you think is going to happen with this movie and the DC reboot?
Unfortunately, the way they addressed the film, it just totally ignored the fact that they are going to have a reboot. It's kind of a questionable relationship. It's like, well, what is going on with DC? And I think that affected the amount of people that were there tonight, because our audience was light. I would say there was probably 30 to 35 people in there in a theater that held probably 80 seats or 100, somewhere in there. So my concern is a lot of people are going to be asking, and I'm sure you're asking yourself, should you see this movie, considering they are going to reboot? Can you just ignore all the events that you see in it? Or can the movie just stand alone on its own?
And that brings up a good point. Yes, you can see this movie on its own. It's a very entertaining movie in and of itself. As far as it connecting to the rest of the DC universe, what we all address as the Snyderverse, it does connect pretty well. There are some elements that they bring into the film that continue on from Justice League, that continue on from the Aquaman movie, and from the other individual movies of the individual heroes. So there are some elements that they do bring into the movie from those, and there is some continuation. But, as we've stated, what point does it have? Because we all know that it's going to falter at some point. There's going to be some point where they just end it all. Or is this stuff actually going to feed into the next universe that comes along? We'll have to wait and see on that. But for entertainment value, The Flash was a very entertaining movie. very entertaining movie. I liked it personally. Like I said, there were some cheesy moments in it. There were some comedic moments that they could have cut out, but overall, it was sprinkled in the right place. There were some good surprises, as Chris was saying. So, your overall impression was you liked the movie. The DC reboot thing is definitely a question. How did you like the entertainment value of it?
Oh, it was definitely an entertaining movie. I wasn't sitting there thinking this has a slump moment in the film. The film continues on from A to Z, in my opinion. Could some scenes have been shortened? Absolutely. But it didn't. The movie didn't drag.
At any point did you just want to get up and walk out?
No, definitely not. That's an inside joke, folks.
It does not have walkout value, so if you go and see it, just understand that it's that you are going to be entertained, you are going to laugh, and you may even roll your eyes at a few things. But as far as like things that you disagree with, I'm not going to say from a political standpoint, because let's not get political about it. As far as moral standards go, did you see anything morally questionable in this movie, besides the fact of the violence and?
Well, yeah. Besides Americanized violence, no. The film didn't have like an in-your-face message they were trying to get across. So no political standings aside, this is a movie that you're not going to eye roll if you're on a certain political spectrum one way or the other. They tried to make it for the general audience to enjoy. I will warning, there is some language in the film, so if you do have small children, the language might be an issue morally for some people. But it's not. It doesn't take away from the film, and it's really quick.
There is some brief nudity.
True.
Brief nudity in the film, and that could also be a deterrent if you have small kids. But yes, they tried to stay more in the middle of the line, and I think they did a good job with that. Seeing how DC has done in the past with certain television shows and with some of their movies, they did a real good job sticking right in the middle on this movie, and I really enjoyed that. I didn't feel like it didn't make me uncomfortable one way or the other, and I really enjoyed being able to watch the movie and kind of detach from reality for a moment and not have to sit and think, really, you're putting this in here? We gotta go over this again. You gotta throw this in my face, that kind of thing. So if you're not looking for something like that, then hey, you know what? The Flash is the movie you need to go see.
Yeah, I agree. Now, if you want to stick around, we're going to start the spoiler section of the review. So pause here, go see the movie, come back. And if you want to just be spoiled and still go see the movie, continue watching with us, and we'll discuss some of the spoilers.
All right. Thank you very much for tuning in to Friday Night Movie Review. My name is Keith.
I'm Chris.
And we'll see you next Friday night.